warming up, doing different warm ups for these
Mm.
exercises. I've always been under the impression, which I think I got from you, is you warm up with the exercise that you're doing. Do you still buy into that? Do you deviate from that at all as far as doing other warm ups? I don't. Let's say if you tweak something, I don't know. Like take that and run with it.
Yeah. So I think warm ups in general for most people in the gym, the best warm up for the exercise is the exercise itself. If I'm
Okay.
going to squat, then I warm up the squat by squatting, not by doing jumping jacks. And I think that that principle holds true, and you still need to warm up the actual movement that you're going to do. However, and 10 years ago, I would have said, like, why are you messing with that rubber band? Just squat. And now I'll say, like, hey, my shoulders need some work to be able to get into the squat position. So I do some like one arm hangs on the pull up bar and rotate kind of like a rock climber. I haven't figured out why to bench 185 on an inclined bench press over and over as a rock climber does. But the hanging part I kind of get. I do the stretch underneath. I'll sometimes go to the wall and turn away. And I don't know how much is happening, but it makes me feel more comfortable when I get under the squat. And then I still go through, okay, I'm going to squat the empty bar. Then I'm going to make a plate jump or whatever the jumps are. But yeah, you still have to warm up. But I guess what I would say is there's a lot of times where people come into the gym and they sit on a lacrosse ball and they roll around. And I used to be like, what do you actually think that's doing? And now I'm like, hey, if you want to roll around that lacrosse ball and then get under the bar and squat and warm up and like that mentally prepares you, I'm all
Go
about it.
for it.
Go
Yeah.
for it. Yeah. So, I mean, I the only time that I would maybe discourage this sort of thing is if people are complaining about time in the gym.
Yeah.
And I would just say, like, hey, let's look at, I used to have this conversation with people in the gym. Let's look at what you do the first 20 minutes. You walk in, you talk to people for 5, you go to the bathroom and clearly do some damage. You come out of the bathroom, like you have this protocol where you grab your left ankle and stretch your quad out, and don't tell me that time is the issue, because we can totally truncate down this, warm up procedure. But yeah, you got to warm up. Why? What are you doing things without the barbell to kind of get going that you
Man,
find useful?
it's like just warming up for the squat. And it's like once you do the squat, like you're ready to do everything else pretty
Yep.
much. Like your
Yep.
your whole body's warm. And so getting ready for the squat, what I've been doing a lot is I'll get a band and it helps me remember kind of shoot the knees out. Is I'll get down into a low squat and I'll have a band to and I'll have it kind of around my knees to kind of push it out a little bit.
Yeah.
But outside of that, man, it's really just kind of going into it. I just didn't know if you had your stance was still kind of the same, which it sounds
I,
generally, but it's also like whatever helps kind of thing.
yeah. Whatever helps. I think in general, though, I mean, today I benched only. And so, I didn't squat first. So I just went in the
Yeah.
bench. So I think I did 5 sets of 5 with the empty bar. Whereas
Yeah.
if I had squatted beforehand, I might have done 2 sets of 5. But I'm cold. Like, let me get things going. Yeah, I mean, I think if things work for you, go for it.
Just
I
keep
mean,
doing
I
it. Yeah.
I find that days that I don't walk enough, I wake up the next day and I'm just incredibly sore. And every time I do it, I can go back and like look at my steps. I'm like, oh, I was super sedentary yesterday. Like, that's why I feel this way. So I don't want to say don't do warm up routines. I think they have their place. I just think that what's prepping you for a 405 squat is the load increases of squatting.
Yeah.
Then the question would be, hey, what's prepping me for the ability to squat that empty bar to start that? And maybe it's a shoulder issue. Maybe it's a hip issue. I've got people that put what are those things called, Jeff, that you put up around your hips and you like sidestep with them? It's like hip
like a hip
mobility
circle kind of
bands.
thing.
Yeah. So I have people that do those and they're like, my hip kills me until I do that. And I think getting older, you get smarter. I wake up 5 out of 7 days a week. And the first thing I do is lay down in the prone right next to my bed. And I do prone push-ups because it makes my lower back feel better. And
Yeah.
I'll, go out. And so for me, that works. Is that going to work for everyone? I don't know.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I warm up the bench press for sure when I do that. I mean, I had like a nagging shoulder injury and I'm pretty good now, but I'm still like, if I don't warm up, it's pretty crunchy. Like I'll probably up into the first working set. And so even me, I mean, I'm not old, but I ain't that young. And so,
too young to feel this old. Okay.
It ain't the years, it's the miles.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I do. I'll grab
Amen,
I'll grab like some of the smaller plates and do like a bunch of shoulder. Looks like I'm doing bodybuilding, chasing
Loosen up a little bit,
chasing a sick pump. I'll do like front raises inside and stuff like that. And recently, ever since I saw Connor blow up his bicep before deadlifts, when I'm warming up with the empty bar, I don't know if this does anything other than psychological.
Shoot your bicep with a gun, just
just real quick. Up. Yeah, you can't do damage at that point. You're already dead. No, I'll do curls like with the bar, just like a set of curls just with the bar, just to get the biceps warmed up too. But maybe this might all be psychological. I understand, but I think it helps.
I feel like that's half the battle. Yeah, that's half the battle right there.
Yeah.